Let's touch them all. It's episode 3. I'm Alex. He's Keith. And on today's episode, another jam-packed day.
Yes, lots to talk about in the sports world, which is the unnorm from when we started this podcast 2 weeks ago.
We had a lot of ups and downs. We didn't really know what was going to happen with our sports world. It's
a lot of stuff.
Sense of normalcy. A little bit of normalcy is coming back. I
normalcy.
Like it.
MLB versus the MLB Players Association. Colin Kaepernick, will he get a tryout or workout with the LA Chargers? Jamal Adams wants out of New York.
Come to SF.
I know you like this one. The Premier League is returning, but no crowds. New NFL masks. I know you like that one.
I do love that one.
And Aura, ring to be worn by NBA players to track the COVID situation.
That was interesting. When we get to that, that's really just oof.
But we begin with the MLB and the ongoing debate as to whether there will be a MLB season or no MLB season. All week long, the MLB has offered the MLB Players Association a chance at a season. They made their offers. The MLBPA said no. Today, in the early morning hours, in the dawn of the early morning, the MLBPA proposed their own proposal to the MLB and the owners. Per Jeff Passan, the details in the MLBPA's new proposal would have been a 70-game season from July 19th to September 30th, $50 million in playoff bonuses, a 50-50 split of new postseason TV revenues in 2021, forgiveness of salary advance for Tier 1 to Tier 3 players, universal designated hitter in the American and National League, I kind of like that, and a mutual waiver of agreements. I say would have been their proposal because, as you just told me, the MLB just denied that claim.
And the wheel proposal keeps on turning and turning and turning. And, I understand the whole, they're professional ball players. They make millions of dollars. I feel for the guys who are, right on the cusp of making a major league squad, or they're fighting for their baseball careers. They are all losing a year of their life as far as a career. This is the Major League Baseball Players Association Executive Director, Tony Clark. Like most major leaguers, I came up through the minor leagues, and I understand the challenges that exist. Players recognize their collective responsibility to leave the game better than they found it, so that the next generation is empowered to do the same for the players who follow them. Within the baseball community, minor leaguers have been particularly hit hard by the pandemic, and many of them will lose a season they will never get back. We will continue to seek ways to support them. They're not trying to argue with, the Major League Baseball to have a season because I need more money or we're risking health. I think the Players Association is trying to make baseball better, and I think the owners are looking short-sighted at revenue now. And that I think that's the most disappointing thing right now coming out of this argument.
This is very, very bad for one person.
Who do you think?
Who do you think it is? I'll give you the first guesses. Who do you think I think this is bad for?
Does it rhyme with Schmob Manfred?
Yes.
Okay.
Rob Manfred is going to come out of this looking horrible either way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, he already looked bad with the Astros scandal. He didn't really drop any real punishment. Yeah, okay, so the manager and the GM are gone for a year, but then he said, well, if we lose the season due to COVID or whatever, this counts as their year off. So they're not really missing any games. The Astros hired Dusty Baker to be a PR guy, I guess?
And manager. Maybe do that too.
I mean, I guess, but right now, the players have been saying all week, I'm ready to play. You tell us when and where. And that was the statement on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook, on SportsCenter. You tell us when, you tell us where, we're ready to go. And it's just fuddy-duddy bull, basically, from the MLB. Oh, well, we want this much of a stake in playoff revenue. The fact that they're arguing over playoff revenue, I feel like I'm going to quote Jim Mora. Playoffs? Kidding me? Playoffs? We just want a season.
Yeah, we don't even have the regular season.
Playoffs.
Why are we debating about playoffs? You know what the worst part about this whole thing is? That Manfred comes out a couple of days ago and says, I'm 100% sure, I'm 100% positive. He was 100% of something, that they were going to have a season.
Guaranteed.
Then, once these players, because Manfred apparently didn't realize that the whole MLB, has Twitter like every other regular human being on social media, start saying, oh, will we? And they start denying these proposals. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm not sure. Really, Rob? Are you not sure?
Not sure now.
And you touched the biggest part about this that bugs me. The players all week have been saying, we want to play. We want to have a season. We want baseball. We want to play baseball. We want to do what we want to do, what we love to do, which is play baseball. And so when this proposal came out this morning, I said, great. The players have outlined what they want. It didn't seem too drastic, and I'm not really like a big aficionado or a big detective in regards to what this proposal looks like. But from what I saw, it looked pretty much the same as every proposal that the MLB has come out with in the last week or so. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming if you're just fighting over everything, like both sides need to realize in this whole situation, whether you're a player, an owner, manager, whatever you want to call it, you're not going to get everything that you want at the bargaining table. Mm-hmm. It's like when you believe in Santa Claus as a kid, you say, I want this, this, and this for Christmas. And the parents say, well, what are the main things that you want? You're not going to get everything on the list.
Maybe Santa can't get you that Supreme jacket.
Yes.
He could maybe get you a game?
Yeah, who knows? PS5's coming out, But you have to understand from both sides that you're not going to get everything you want. And so you have to be willing to take what you can get, compromise, and let's just play. It's ridiculous what we're fighting over. What exactly are we fighting over in this whole proposal? Money? Everyone's going to lose money. We're in a pandemic. Did you not hear what Dana White said at UFC 250?
You're not going to get anybody in the stands as it is. Maybe in some states, if they allow it, you're going to get 5% capacity, maybe 3% capacity. You're operating at a loss. Every professional sports team is going to operate at a loss right now. Sans maybe the NFL because of TV revenue, because people are going to want to watch their football, and it's already a huge moneymaker as it is. The teams are going to operate at a loss. The players are going to operate at a loss. And I go back to the minor leaguers, the guys that are like, imagine if you play minor league baseball for the San Jose Giants. That is the single A affiliate for the San Francisco Giants. Uh-huh. You think living in San Jose is cheap? Because I'm from San Jose and it's not cheap. And those guys might live on $4,000 a month, which most rent out there is $3,200 for a 1-bedroom studio apartment. So, and you think it just doesn't make sense to me. And then some teams are refusing to pay their minor leaguers. They're furloughing staff. I think if you just play the game, it would make things better for, it'll ease tensions, come to some sort of agreement. At this point, are they even going to be able to go back and have a spring training?
No.
I mean, you can't honestly justify going back and maybe for 2 weeks just to, play a couple scrimmages and then, all right, here you go, here's your season. But if all the big players are saying hey, we're ready. All right, who's the first? Who wants up first? Who wants to, grab a bat? Who wants to go first?
I don't know, but I just feel like baseball is going to come out of this as of all the major North American sports leagues and organizations. There's no doubt in my mind, regardless if there's a season or not, baseball is going to come out of this as the worst looking organization, MLB that is, when it comes to all of this. Because on one hand, we'll talk about in a little while, you have the NBA who's doing everything in their power to bring bring basketball back. And baseball is just stuck up in this arms race where it's like, we want this. No, you can't have this. Okay, we want this. No, you can't have this.
Right.
And I just really don't see a situation where Rob Manfred really is able to either redeem himself or try to spin this as, oh, look, we got baseball. See, everything's okay. No, everything's not okay. Your best players in your organization we're going to war with you every day.
Has there ever been a commissioner who's had a worse start to their tenure as a commissioner? Because Adam Silver had the Donald Sterling case
and knocked it out of the park.
I thought he did fantastic. Goodell kind of was, he was fine, and then things have gone downhill. But I
Goodell built it up over a couple of years, though.
I mean, yeah,
at first really, it was all good.
He's kind of fumbled the Kaepernick thing. A lot of the NFL fumbled the Kaepernick thing, which we'll get to. But he's kind of come back and he kind of embraces the boos he gets, and okay, the pass interference thing, what's a catch? Okay, that kind of
Manfred just is from
but
the
that's
start.
Not a thing on the commissioner. That's okay. We got to take a look at this, and then but Manfred has really just. And I mean, you brought up the they want to do the universal DH. I'm kind of okay with that. Don't tell my mom.
Your mom's not a fan of that.
Mom's not going to be happy with that.
I know your mom's not going to like that.
A lot of those old heads are not going to like it. But I'm okay with the universal DH. But it's he's trying to speed up the pace of the game. He's trying to do okay. Well, the second they go to extra innings, you got to throw a runner on second base, and a lot of baseball fans enjoy the longer games. Yeah, when it gets past 4 hours, if it takes less time to play a round of golf, then I get it. But, I like the pitcher's duels. I like the 2-1. The home runs are exciting, yes, but I don't love the 15 to 13 games because those are the ones that drag on and on. So I understand it's an unenviable position that he's in right now. I don't think he's handled it well.
No, he has not handled it well, and he's on the verge of mutiny in regards to his players. And you can make the case that when this is all over, the CBA agreement between the Players Association and the MLB is going to go up in flames. Like,
I mean, it's already in fuego. So
I mean, I don't know where they go from here. Like, that's my question. Where do we go from here? Because it's obvious that both sides obviously are lacking something in a proposed agreement that they want. And it comes down to money. And neither side is either willing to realize, A, that you're going to lose money regardless, or that B, no one's going to come out of this with big cash in their pockets. Mm-hmm. And I think that they're trying to find a way to put a square peg into a round hole at this point. I just think, well, what are we fighting about? Money? No one's going to make any money.
No one. You bring it up. It's perfect. I think the Players Association sees what's going on with the NBA Players Association and the power that they have. I mean, you look at a guy like Kyrie Irving right now saying, like, hey, we have a platform to make some change, and do we really want to play basketball? And the Players Association is kind of rallying around, like, okay, well, we have this deal. The Players Association has much more power in the NBA than it does the NFL and the MLB. I'm not too sure about the NHL Players Association, but there's kind of the unanimous, like, all right, well, when the tournament starts for the 24 teams in the NHL, we're ready to go when that happens. Isn't it funny how peace kind of brings a little bit of calming, towards a league? Where do we go from here for your MLB? You got to start playing some games soon, or you risk falling even further behind in TV ratings, because that's what's bringing in money right now is TV ratings. The NFL, like I said, number one. NBA is number two as far as TV ratings and revenue. I can see MLS. Well, MLS is 5 right now, but I can see NHL is going to get higher. NASCAR's are, and auto racing in general is on the rise as far as TV sponsorship, because they did something. Granted, I don't think you could have done virtual games like 2K does. Well, they had the MLB The Show, but they had the virtual racing. So TV revenue, if you don't get a product out soon, now as everything's coming back, you're gonna tank your revenue even harder without fans in the stands.
Yeah, it's not good, and I don't think it's going to get any better. So I actually am going to double down with what you said the first show we ever did, which was I don't think we play a season.
I'm glad you finally see it my way. I'm glad.
Well, I mean, I kind of think I saw it your way, but I just wanted to be like
you called it a hot take.
I wanted to be the positive person at the time on that subject with this
Maybe
whole thing.
We'll get.
But I think we're all just past the point of being positive. It's just it's blasphemy.
If we get a season, it's going to be around 50 games, and Major League Baseball plays 162
and that's
in a normal regular season.
That's an interesting situation.
You're going to play a third of the season?
Dude, the freaking Royals are going to win the damn Central.
I would put an asterisk. If they're going to put an asterisk next to anything in sports, I'd put it next to this championship.
No,
hear me out. If you play a third of the season, you are a third of the champion. Granted, that was your whole season. The NBA, don't put an asterisk next to that. They played most of the season, then a pandemic hit. If the NFL gets played with no fans, you don't put an asterisk next to that. MLB, you delayed the season because you couldn't reach a deal on how to bring it back. Granted, the pandemic sucks and it hit right during spring training, but I'd put an asterisk. If somebody give me an AL Central team that's just been cheeks. Give me the Kansas City Royals, the White Sox. Let's say they make the White Sox are on their way up. But if the White Sox win the World Series this year, I like Tim Anderson too. But if they win the World Series, I'd put an asterisk next to it. Like, hey, they won a 50-game regular season, and then it would depend on what the playoff structure is too. I love that you texted me yesterday. I have it right here. MLB back. They just announced it. I said, what's your source? And you sent me the source.
John Heyman.
It's close to a deal. Still a good sign. And not 2 hours later, MLBPA. Reports of an agreement are false.
Yeah, that was the best part of the day.
And you just responded with WTF.
Dude, John Heyman for a good 20 minutes there. John Heyman's actually a really good baseball writer.
I love Heyman.
Him and Passan and all those guys are great. Jeff Passan, I guess. He was the man for 20 minutes. And then 20 minutes later.
down it comes. And then you did it today, too, 11 o'clock. They made a finalized a proposal, and I'm like, let's see if the league accepts it. And then
I just got to stop texting you about that kind of stuff. If I see
ignore baseball.
If I see it, I'll just you'll figure it out eventually.
No,
you got
he'll
Twitter.
See it on Twitter. He'll see it.
You've got Twitter.
He'll get to it.
So, changing gears now, because really now, I think the one sport that you can make the argument that's really been in the news constantly is the National Football League. And they actually had a season last year. They didn't have the COVID situation. And one of those situations that's arose from all this in regards to George Floyd is more publicity in regards to the ongoing Colin Kaepernick saga.
It's the thorn in the side of the NFL that won't go away, and I'm glad it's not going away.
Yes, we all are.
I love that people are finally realizing that, hey, he's not disrespecting the flag. Okay, maybe he is, but it's not disrespecting the flag in the sense that like, oh, he hates America and he's a SOB, as the president wanted to call him. Like, he's trying to raise awareness, and you ignored him for 4 years, and now that everybody's upset and everybody's saying Black Lives Matter, now you're like, oh, well, maybe we were wrong about Kaepernick. And people who were Niner fans or people who were already on the side of Kaepernick to begin with, like, you don't say. You don't say.
Well, I think the interesting part about this week, as we talked about earlier, Anthony Lynn told the press that Colin Kaepernick is likely going to be on their workout list.
Yeah, he says Colin Kaepernick fits the style of QB that we want. He put that. He didn't put out a statement regarding the George Floyd murder and racial inequality or anything, but he did say about Kaepernick. It was on a radio show. To Joe Reedy of the Associated Press. He fits the style of quarterback that we want. I haven't talked to him yet, but we're happy with the 3 quarterbacks that we want, but you can't have enough on the runway. So it sounds like he's going to have a chance to try out, at least for the team, or be a part of their workouts. Currently on that roster, they have Tyrod Taylor, Justin Herbert, who they picked up in the first round of this draft, and Easton Stick, who I thought it was a Madden player at first. Here we go. Quarterback number 2, Los Angeles Chargers. Was born in 1995, went to North Dakota State. Was drafted this year in the 5th round, 28th of the round by the LA Chargers.
Okay.
So 2 rookies and Tyrod Taylor.
I feel like in my heart of hearts, and I've thought this for so long, and I still continue to like pound the table with my stance on this. And I've said it for 4 years now. The NFL owes Colin Kaepernick a workout. They owe him a shot to have an actual job.
Not that facade of a workout.
Week 17, where no one was going to go, and
then you can't use this,
and you can't record it. Why not?
So you're going to go do it to your own field, and no, there's only like a couple clips of it.
It is hypocritical for the National Football League, in particular Roger Goodell, to come out and say, "Oh, we support any team trying to give Colin Kaepernick a workout or a try. We support any team trying to give Colin Kaepernick an opportunity to play in the National Football League." It's hypocritical. It's mind-boggling. It's dumbfounding.
And they're trying
to
save face. They're trying to save face.
You're the reason Colin Kaepernick doesn't have a job. You blackballed him.
And silence.
What do you mean you support him?
Silence is deafening.
You're the reason.
Silence is deafening. Just black. No, don't mention him. Don't mention him. It's this like stain on the wall. Don't mention it. And then
they took out the Big Sean lyric in the Madden game to the song.
God, that was funny. And
then when somebody found out, they had to put it back in.
When Big Sean got mad at me, he's like, "Dude, don't mute my music, let alone artists' integrity." Man, that was funny. But like, I bring up a guy, and I hate to bring it up because it's comparing pears to oranges, or apples to kiwis, or whatever fruit you're hungry for at the moment. Josh Gordon wants back in the NFL.
Now,
He's been suspended 5 times.
Okay, I'm gonna take the. Okay, you go ahead. I think I'm gonna have an interesting. I'm gonna have an interesting take on this, but I want you to go ahead first.
So Gordon played 5 games with the Seahawks last season before the indefinite suspension for violating the PED and substance abuse policy again on December 16th. Gordon reportedly hopes to have suspension lifted in time for training camp. He's only been in the league for 8 years, and he showed decent, success. He can, play at the NFL level. He's not going to be a Julio Jones or a Stephon Diggs type.
At this point.
He's good. His agent cites his brother's death for the relapse. So he's got all this stuff in like his personal life, which stopped him, or played some sort of factor. Yet he still gets another opportunity. And I think he does, if he can stay clean, because it would be a waste of talent if he couldn't continue to play. But he's going to apply for reinstatement, and I still think Josh Gordon's going to get reinstated before Colin Kaepernick gets a job in the NFL. What did Kaepernick do besides use his platform to further, to advance a cause that he's passionate about? Nothing. He took a knee during a song. I don't want to sit here and disrespect because my grandfather was in the Navy for many, many years, and my uncle and I have relatives that have served proudly for this country. And for that, I thank them. I personally stand and salute for the national anthem. I don't care if you take a knee because we need to kneel to pray and we kneel to honor the fallen soldiers. To take a death tone to what Kaepernick has done and to still not give him a chance, even now, 4 years later, following the death of George Floyd, and I call it the spiritual awakening of people going, hey, this isn't right. if you still want to be tone deaf to that, then you're the bigger problem than him taking a knee. It's the silence is deafening, especially from a guy like Jerry Jones or like some of these big shot owners that I kind of carry more weight. And I get angry when people are like, well, the Niners offered him a deal and he turned it down. The Niners told him, hey, we're going to go in a different direction anyway, so we're going to cut your deal a year earlier and you can test free agency. Ben Garland, or was it Ben Garland? I forget who it was, but the right tackle was a human turnstile. He never could block anybody that last season he was. And Kaepernick still, like 2 years before, started in the Super Bowl. You're going to tell me that a guy like Mitch Trubisky is a better quarterback now than Kaepernick was? Kaepernick played in the playoffs.
My problem with this whole thing is this: is the NFL has come out and said, you know what, we were wrong for what happened. We encourage Kaepernick to find a job. Hopefully someone will give him a job. Everything Kaepernick said was true.
Hopefully. That's the thing that drives me nuts is he's deservedly should have a job, at least as a backup.
Everything Colin Kaepernick said was true. And we found out everything he said was true the hard way. Mm-hmm. And for me, I can't wrap my brain around the fact that the NFL now is on like this Peace Corps mission to want to just, redeem themselves after everything they put their players through. They, basically gave them up to the lions. Every person who kneeled lost endorsements, got blackballed. You really want to make a change? Let Colin Kaepernick earn his job the right way. You owe him that much.
Currently trending on Twitter is the hashtag NFL Man Up. This is from Kevin Graham on Twitter. The NFL, its owners, and sponsors owe Colin Kaepernick a public apology.
Yes.
If you understand his protest was not about the flag of the United States, it was a peaceful protest about racial brutality, you hung him out to dry. Kevin Graham.
They did.
Well done.
Where's Kevin Graham located?
Let's find out. I'll click on the profile. I don't want to out the guy. Doesn't say.
I would like to say something about the whole Josh Gordon thing.
Go ahead.
Josh Gordon's problem was that he liked to smoke weed. The NFL this year has come out and said that marijuana, weed, tree, perp, ganja, whatever you want to call it, is no longer going to be a banned substance.
Right.
You can smoke marijuana, you can smoke weed, and you will be fine. You will not pass a drug test. So if that's the case, let Josh Gordon back in, because all the man did was smoke some weed, and he was a pretty damn good player that first year while he was doing it. Mm-hmm. And he played for the Browns. What does that tell you about somebody?
If you can't smoke Browns playing in smoke Browns. I'm thinking of the blunt wraps. If you can't smoke weed playing for the Browns, then something's wrong with the league you're playing in.
If you can't smoke the Browns, man, get
Johnny
out of here.
Manziel,
we don't want you on this podcast.
There's no damn... Yeah, no kidding. If there's no damn way that Johnny Manziel wasn't high when he was playing for the Browns. There's no way. You can't...
No, Johnny just liked the alcohol.
No, yeah, well, okay. You're telling me that this move, the money move that Manziel would do, you're telling
me... It's a good roll-in technique.
I can't speak on my behalf. I use tools myself.
So, just let the man back in.
Yeah, he should play.
So, another player who is not testing positive for weed or banned substances, he's fine. His name's Jamal Adams. He's got a bigger problem. He does not want to play for the Jets, which I don't see as a big problem because the Jets are horrible. I don't blame the man. Jamal Adams' agent came out today and said that his client would like to move on from the Jets. And this is something that's been going on for years now. Jamal Adams recently, as of last season, unfollowed the Jets on Instagram. Really has not said anything positive or anything in regards to building the team or what he would like to see happen with the team. And so his agent comes out today and says, my client wants a trade from the Jets. And they outlined about 6 or 7 teams that he'd be interested in playing for.
Which I have right here.
Packers.
No.
Ravens.
Yep.
Cowboys.
Yep.
Ravens.
You already said
I already said the Ravens twice. I thought I was going to pull a fast one on you right there. Chiefs.
Yep.
And then who else?
The Texans, the Eagles, the Seahawks, and the San Francisco 49ers.
So basically, the only thing I got from this is that Jamal Adams wants to play for a contender, which isn't bad.
Okay, yeah, most
I don't see what's wrong with that.
No, I don't. And it's funny how it just kind of blew up today. He had the comment on Instagram today. The Jets are trying to keep Adams around. The team hasn't offered him a deal yet this offseason. He expressed frustration today. It's a profanity-laden comments, but basically ended the post saying maybe it's time to move on.
Maybe it is.
The Jets have maintained they don't want to deal Adams and have not given Adams' agent permission to seek the trade. But apparently that's the list of 7 teams he wants to go to. Of course he wants to contend right now. You've played for the Jets, who haven't contended since they had Mark Sanchez. And again, they play in the AFC East.
Contending the Jets, what they know about that?
Not since Super Bowl III.
Not since for a long time.
Broadway Joe.
So the big question around this that I was going to ask you as I was on my way home today from the gym was, is it worth the price? The Jets are obviously going to ask for a whole lot. It's going to surface around draft picks and probably salary or money compensation, things of that nature. And maybe you throw a player in here or there just for the hell of it if you're the Jets and you want something back in return in concrete. What would you be willing to give up for him, and is it worth the risk of giving away a whole bunch of draft picks and things of that nature when the man is nearing the end of his deal?
I don't know how much I'd be willing to give up. I mean, if you're a team like, let's see, he had the Cowboys listed there. A lot of people seem to be linking him to the Cowboys right now. He had a 4-year, $22 million contract with the Jets. So I can't see him getting more than 25 right now from a team. But if he gets traded, he's gonna keep that contract, which is an average annual salary of just over $5.5 million. He had 14 guaranteed in a signing bonus, and then another 22, or as I read it right here, like a professional that I am.
Did he get more money while you were reading that?
Maybe he makes more than I do reading this.
That's the one thing we do know. Jamal Adams definitely makes more than both of us combined. Yeah,
I know. So Jamal, hey, if you want to just like splash some money on the podcast,
we need another studio light.
Link in the description.
Maybe another camera angle.
I'd like to do this full time. Just pay us to touch them all with Keith and Alex. Brought to you by Jamal Adams.
Talking
Trust
about
Fund.
Jamal Adams 24/7
on the Jamal Adams show. I don't know what I'd offer for him. I don't know what I would offer for Jamal Adams right now, but I know of those 7 teams that he wants to go to. As I pull him back up here,
one of your teams is there.
One
of
them
Niners.
is there. We could use another strong safety. The Eagles could use anything they can get. The Chiefs, the rich get richer. The Cowboys do need some secondary help. The Texans need more than they can get, but they need to get Bill O'Brien out of there. The Ravens, I think that would, because they already got Marcus Peters out there.
Got Earl Thomas too.
They do have Earl Thomas. Maybe that's what I meant, Earl Thomas. It's been a long day.
They got Peters too.
Do they have Peters too?
The defensive back.
That's right. Seahawks, Pete Carroll has good defenses, if not great defenses. I don't think they would need him. I'd say the Ravens, Cowboys would probably need him the most of those two and give him the clearest chance to compete right away.
See, my thing is this. Jamal Adams is not a coverage safety. He's not a safety where you drop back in there and, if somebody tries to throw it his way, he's going to intercept it. He had 2 interceptions last season.
He doesn't play center field well.
Yeah, but he's the type of guy where he's fast, he's strong, he's athletic, and he is a go-getter, and he is the type of guy that can give you a home run play in the run game and in sacks specifically. So, shockingly, he had 6.5 sacks last year.
He did.
Once Greg Williams and his defense let him out the box. I think that Jamal Adams is the type of player that you go out there, if you're looking for somebody on defense to go make you a play, it's the Clowney effect. Is it going to be consistent? Maybe, maybe not. But there is still the chance he can knock one out of the ballpark. I'd rather have a guy that could step up to the plate and just send one 500 feet into the air than a guy who's going to give you a single or a ground rule double every now and then. I mean, the home run presence is what you're looking for with Jamal Adams. And I don't know what his stats really are and really aren't, because he has been the focal point of a team that, let's be honest, has been god-awful for years.
Yeah.
And so teams say, okay, we cannot bring the football in the direction of Jamal Adams. We've got to take it away from his side of the field.
And you see it in his stats from last year. He played 14 games.
60
tackles solo, 14 assisted, 6.5 sacks. Only 1 pick last year, but it was a pick 6, 61 yards back to the house. He's from Texas. He grew up a Cowboys fan. It makes sense that he would want to go to Dallas.
See, this is the thing, is that Jerry Jones, I feel like, knows that he had a chance to pick up Earl Thomas for cheap because of the broken leg. And he didn't pull the trigger. And Earl Thomas had a resurgent year with the Ravens.
He was the one saying in the tunnel after that game with the Seahawks, come get me. I'm free this offseason. Come get me.
Yeah. And so I think deep down, Jerry realizes, man, I shouldn't have taken that chance. And I think what you've been seeing recently with the Cowboys is that Jerry has been making moves that he would normally just, stand back. And let's be honest, he went and got CeeDee Lamb, even though CeeDee Lamb fell to him. But there was no move to get CeeDee Lamb up in the draft. So I would like to see Jerry Jones 90s Jerry Jones come out of the phone booth and go make a play for Jamal Adams.
Go make a move.
Back in the day, if Jerry wanted a guy, Jerry was going to get a guy.
Jerry got his guy.
But I need Jerry to really, he's had some swing and misses. Obviously, Greg Hardy, that didn't work out. Pac-Man Jones didn't work out so great. But Jerry is the type of owner. Like, if you're giving me all those teams on a list who possibly have the best chance of making a move for Jamal Adams, I can't agree anymore that the Cowboys are going to be the biggest team on that list to try and go get him and be the most aggressive probably.
There's a Yahoo Sports poll, and 25% of the vote has Jamal Adams going to play for Dallas this next season. Checking Twitter, I'm seeing a lot of people saying they want the SF on the side of his hat. They see a lot of people, a lot of people saying put that blue star on the side of your helmet. A couple come to Houston. I don't know.
I would not want to go to Houston.
I wouldn't touch Houston with a 30-foot pole right now. I feel
Specifically
terrible for
Bill
Deshaun.
O'Brien.
I feel terrible for Deshaun Watson. They're going to waste that poor boy's career.
Yes. So we will wait and see what happens with Mr. Jamal Adams. So you have a little, experience in this next topic.
Oh, I do.
The Premier League is returning.
It has, but I wanted to focus more on
Crowd aspect.
There's no crowd, and when I think soccer, at least international European soccer, you think of these rowdy crowds. You think of Old Trafford in Manchester. You think of the Nou Camp in Barcelona. You think of San Siro in Italy, these huge raucous crowds. I could go Signal Iduna Park in Germany. Now I'm just bragging that I know German stadiums and European stadiums.
And I have no clue, but I'm just going to take your word for it.
Yeah, tell me more. So don't touch it with your hands. So I watched a little bit yesterday while I was at work. I saw my boss, but I had the Premier League on my phone while we were working. That's cool. They won't see this anyways. Thanks, boss. And I was watching, and I like what they were playing at Manchester City Arsenal, and they had the front row of the all the seats that you see on camera had big tarps over them with sponsors and thank you to our healthcare workers. And that one wasn't, that's not so bad. I'm like, okay, cool. It's no different than if I'm watching a local team play and they have their advertisements. No different than the advertising board. It's a little different when they switch cameras and you see them all walking out of the into the stadium, and you see a bunch of empty stadiums. All right, cool, whatever. But I'm weird about the pumping of artificial crowd noise.
You don't like that?
I don't know how I'm going to feel about that. At least in an aspect of if the NFL starts on time, am I gonna what's stopping me if I'm a sound engineer for the home team, the away team's on a pivotal drive from just cranking it full blast to just defense. What's stopping me from doing
Nothing.
that? Nothing.
That's the beautiful part about it, though.
I know, but it's
your home crowd.
It's weird. It's not that I don't love it, and I'm I get why we're doing it. I just don't. The lack of crowd doesn't bother me. It's the artificialness. I'm fine. I remember a while back when the Baltimore protests were going on, they played a game. I forget who played the Orioles, but they played in Baltimore with no crowd. And the announcers played along with it, and they announced it like a golf match, and here's a swing and a miss, strike two. They kind of played along with it. In the end, I think it works a little bit better for soccer because you can hear the players saying hey, cut here, I'm going here. And so I kind of like that aspect of it. I don't know how well it's going to work in such an adrenaline-fueled league like the NFL. You're going to have the censor bar ready to go if you just hear somebody man, he's
that's why the NBA is doing that, because there's curse. I mean, anybody who's been near courtside or near the floor of any sporting event, but especially the NBA, knows that there's cursing all the time. Yeah, because the NBA is not going to have this problem. The NBA is going to be in a bubble, and they're going to have crowd noise, artificial crowd noise pumped in, but it's not like anybody's home floor.
No.
Everyone's at Orlando. Everyone's on a neutral site. So there's not going to be anyone jacking up the volume like you talked about.
Nope.
But I kind of like the idea of somebody doing that. I'm sorry, in their home crowd. It's your stadium. Do what the hell you want. I mean, put crazy sounds in there if you need to, man. Traffic honking, do what you got to do, man.
47 heads, 47.
I like the idea.
Is that what are those birds? I
like the idea.
I don't know if I can't get on board with the home team just pumping it up. maybe it works for like a stadium like Arrowhead or in like Seattle.
Well, you don't
where
need
they
that in
have the
Arrowhead.
they just have the loud audience. It's just or the loud crowd. They have record-breaking like sound.
What are the Chiefs gonna do if they can't play? Fans can't be in the stands, dude.
They will find a way. The Chiefs fans are scary. They will find a way to do.
Now they finally got the monkey off their back after all 50 years.
Ugh.
Oh, water under the bridge. So no fans at the Premier League, but I kind of like it. The NFL, like we mentioned earlier, it's been in the news constantly, and you actually broke the story on this. Well, actually, you tweeted it, and that's what I saw this for the first time.
So I have my tweet here.
Yes.
I said, I like this a lot. And I'll send you
In caps, you said a lot.
A lot. I do like this. And I have the image in front of me right here.
As we've both seen.
The NFL is, looking at a way of protecting their players more, which I fully expect because Dr. Fauci has come out and said, like, I don't know if we're going to have football in the fall. We'll see if there's like a second wave or resurgence of it. They have the stadium Twitter handle has this picture up that I have in front of me, which maybe we'll throw over or whatever, of a Chicago Bears player with a COVID-19 series helmet. And the best way I can describe it right now is a mix of an IndyCar pit crew and a Star Wars stormtrooper and a motocross helmet.
Yes, I think that makes it like a Halo character.
It's a very Master Chief looking helmet. I love it. Because it doesn't look like it's replacing the face mask. It looks like it's just merely another piece in front of the face mask, so the players will still be able to breathe. But it's limiting if a player's in the trenches, he's not going to sit there just swapping, hot breath in the middle of the trenches. I like what they're doing with it. I think that's going to be like the same material that an M95 or an N95 mask has in the front. I'll be interested to see the first guy that gets rocked. And if that breaks, granted, it'd be a 15-yard penalty. Don't hit him in the head.
I like the face mask or the helmet.
The cover.
The face mask cover.
I could see them doing that, like, moving forward in front of the face mask. Especially if players could, like, customize that. Put, like, a little team logo or a design. That's going to look really sick.
I want to see more designs. We only have the Bears design so far. But I want to
see other teams. I feel like a team like, I was going to say Oakland. The Las Vegas Raiders. I think that's although the silver and then just like the black right here, you look like
black
Darth
visor,
Vader.
dude. Yes,
Darth Vader helmet.
Zach Orr, the Ravens said, "Ain't nobody wearing that."
He said he's not going to wear it.
He said, "Ain't nobody wearing that."
Nobody.
Not Zach Orr. Not Zach Thomas from the early 2000s, middle linebacker.
Not Zach
nobody
from Saved by the Bell.
No, nobody. Period.
Zach Morris is trash.
But I mean, they're gonna have to do something because I think the way this is going, it's like, I mean, every health expert, despite what the NFL has said that they want to have, football has said it's looking like you're going to have to make some changes in order to have football.
Yeah.
And so whatever you got to do, you got to do. But I mean, like, I just feel like you're running the risk of anybody testing positive. Like 9 Texas football players tested positive today in spring workouts. Mm-hmm. And before that, last week, 7 Houston guys.
Yeah.
So you're going to run the risk of having COVID. I mean, it's just like, I think it's going to come down to a situation where like some guys are going to get it, some guys aren't.
Yeah, but the thing, I mean, it is still a pandemic, and you're seeing a lot of people who, like, they get it and then they recover, but then sometimes they're not quite the same, especially if you go onto a ventilator, which, we could go into that. That's a whole nother show in and of itself. The tough thing is going to be is these guys are, peak athletes. And I think, like I've said in the last couple weeks, the NBA, it works because teams are smaller, not as much staff, but you got to think there's 52 guys on an NFL roster on game day, plus all of the coaches, all of the staff. You're going to have camera crews. You're going to have the ball boy. You're going to have 7 referees. I think it's going to spread like wildfire if they don't take proper precautions. But, and I'll use this as my transition, what if there was a way to predict the symptoms 3 days in advance? Would you?
What if there was a way?
Would you wear a small device around you that could predict if you have the symptoms of COVID-19? Well,
what kind of device?
It's called the Oura Smart Ring, OURA, and it's capable of predicting COVID-19 symptoms up to 3 days in advance with 90% accuracy. The ring can measure body temperature, respiratory functions, and heart rate. I just saw a picture on Twitter. Somebody already photoshopped Lakers 2020 champs and made it purple. But it's a silver ring, and it's got like scanners on the inside of it. The NBA players will wear this smart ring at Disney World per CNBC.com as I pull up the article here. I've seen a couple players saying, like, I'm not wearing a stupid ring that looks like that. I kind of like it, and we talked about it today on our radio show that I work at. The prices are $299 for the cheap one, $399 for the expensive one. I don't know the difference between the two, what one gives you or not. But it's funny seeing people go mass population tracking now, huh? Covering the agenda with this COVID-19 BS. A bunch of people, this is BS. You know, a ring that can save lives, they're only using it for NBA players? Are you kidding me?
I agree with that sentiment. Mm-hmm. If you have these rings, why are they only being given out to the NBA and not the general public if you have them?
I have thoughts about that, but go ahead.
Because my thing is this, okay? We've been looking for months for any progress on what could possibly, track COVID, show early symptoms.
Looking for a vaccine.
Yeah. Here you have these rings that come out today. I mean, if I'm a normal person that's working a job like maybe a teacher, maybe a person in the grocery store, gas attendant, whoever. Mm-hmm. Why did these just come out now? Why am I just finding out about these? And why is the NBA only getting them?
Somebody at Aura made a hell of a sale with the NBA. Like, all right, well, here's all 22 teams that are going to play. Here's all my players' ring sizes. Okay, so y'all want the expensive one that's $399 times 12 times and he's just sitting there seeing the dollar signs, all the zeros add up.
What if it was a situation where they were going to get ready to give them to the general public, and the NBA says, "We'll take all your rings."
LeBron James made the midseason trade.
Like, how do you say no to that? Like, in all honesty, how do you say no to that?
No.
The NBA and Silver are willing to give you millions.
It's still a business. From what it says is it's going to detect symptoms up to 3 days in advance. It's the 90% accuracy that kind of gets me, measuring body temperature, respiratory functions, and heart rate. So it does the same thing as my watch that I've taken off now. It's this, other than measuring respiratory functions, but it can tell my body temperature. It can tell my heart rate. The respiratory functions, I think, is more the key for the COVID detection. But I'm interested to see if the NBA players aren't the guinea pigs for this. If they can do this in Florida, which has seen a serious increase in coronavirus like spiking right now, if they can do this without any of the players getting coronavirus down there, their stock price is just going to go, berserk. You're going to see these things flying off the shelves. Even if, let's say it's the $300 model. Who wouldn't buy it right now to go to a sporting event? Like, oh, hey, if you have this ring, and it's just like the little maxi pass, like Max Pass. You can get through like everything at Disneyland with this little ring. Oh, I can go and I can do what I want. I'm interested to see how well it works. It's the 90% accuracy. If I laid out a bowl full of Skittles in front of you, and I said 10 of these will kill you, or 10% of these will kill you, but the rest are fine, would you still eat the Skittles?
Depends on how hungry you are.
I guess.
But my thing is this: is like I still feel like in all this madness, all it takes is one major superstar to get COVID.
Can you imagine if LeBron James?
Oh, don't put that on me.
No.
LeBron won't get. You know why LeBron won't get the COVID? Because he's GOAT James, invincible.
No, he won't.
He's a god amongst mere mortals. LeBron
his
will be
hairline
free.
will go completely bald, but he won't get COVID.
No, it's the only thing, man. I would. Hey, GOAT James isn't going down.
No, he isn't.
I just really think that you're running the risk of something. I agree with you though. If they can do this with the rings, Aura's gonna go like through the roof, man.
I was already looking at stock prices. Like, okay,
I was gonna say you might want to invest in some Aura now.
I was looking during the show.
The Aura around Aura is crazy.
I might. Hey, if this works, man, I might just retire early, baby. Here comes everything. Put them all on black. Here we go.
Oh, but on the flip side, what if it's like the power bounce bands?
And that's what I'm scared of. And that's what we talked about. Like, remember, it had the little titanium chip and it balances your chi.
That was like total Kings, like just luck. Where we had Power Balance Pavilion, and then the power bands, turns out don't do anything.
I remember watching the Sports Center like sports science thing they did, where they were like, "Well, we blindfolded players and we put just a regular like rubber band on their hands and covered it, and then we did a Power Balance one, and it showed no difference." And I'm just like, "Yep."
That's when you knew your product was just done for.
And I laughed because my dad bought into that super hardcore. He was like, "Oh, I've got my titanium necklace and my titanium this and titanium that, and I feel balanced. I feel like I could run 26 miles." And I'm like,
I never got the hype.
You're full of crap. You're full of crap. And you're full of crap. But and then like within a year, the company was bankrupt. The sponsorship was gone, and we got Sleep Train. instead of power.
The power balance hype went to sleep with the sleep train.
Yeah.
That's basically what happened. Yeah, so that is all she wrote for this episode.
They're starting to fly by a little bit quicker each and every week.
We are going to be back next week with more updates on everything in general with sports.
We'll see if we get some baseball next week.
Anything you'd like to tell the people before we leave?
You can follow us online at Touch 'Em All. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts.
We'll be on Instagram tonight.
We're going to be on Instagram tonight.
I'll make that. Make sure we get that done.
Twitter, check us both out. Your Twitter handle is...
That's too long. Just Keith Joking Honest.
Keith Joking Honest.
JUGANATOS.
I'm Heel Task Free, or you can see my radio one, Alex Tasker Radio.
All right. We'll be back next week. Touch 'Em All. Episode 3 is in the building. Have a good one, guys.
See ya.